Gamers, January 16th is headed here soon, and we got some updates. We got some Defiler coming, new boss. We got a new 30 level dungeon that is going to be buffed up to 50 levels by March. Hard content, question mark. Maybe you want to get back into the game, or you want to see what the meta builds are. I'm personally going to demonstrate and go over every single build that I think's busted at the moment. We are leaving some out. Sorry, everything didn't make the list, but I'm just going to show you some meta builds that I have fun with, and hopefully you guys copy them, enjoy them, tweak them, use them, whatever. But I think it's going to be really good setting you up for the new content. Returning to the game, let's get into it. All right, so bunny buns. What's everybody running on the bunny to just dominate 400% all around gameplay and just kind of having fun? Hopefully with the filer we can kind of make a bossing bunny build again, you know, get those high crits, but we'll kind of see what the new boss brings. So let me show you two different builds. So we have the high voltage infinite sprint. You are going to be using crit on this, but also having good range and good sprint. It's like the 3-in-1 build that I already uploaded. These are the mods you're running simply because you have high voltage on, want really good sprint. We run energy collection over MP collector because this 57% also stacks with your components. And when you pick up MP on the ground, you get 57 more percent. The recovery out of combat, 57%. Pretty much if you tick anything for like 750k and higher, you're gonna die, but it does slow you down a little bit in the 400%. Weapons are totally up to you. I would suggest, you know, pairing up a nice shotgun so you can melt the bosses at the end. On your thunder cage, you could definitely run brisk walk to get that movement speed, but you're not really going to be getting hit much. But again, it's just something to give you a little boost. A lot of other characters run it. Reactor for this, I use skill cost to counter react the Slayer set. Skill critical hit rate just because I want it to crit a little more. Then we have our Slayer set components. You're looking for that HP on your auxiliary power. MP out of combat is really important. I think you should have that. Max MP on your sensor. Bunny really doesn't get MP recovery in combat, so you don't have to really worry about that much. Then you have MP recovery modifier down here. The second perk really doesn't matter. And then you could just do like shield here or a resistant, kind of up to you. I know it's hard to get components. Getting god roll components for like every character is pretty tough because, you know, the drop rate's so terrible. This took me, I don't know, 150, 200 kills just to even come close to it. Yeah, pretty basic. Run around, activate your 3, call it a day. Now we're going to move over to the non-crit 400% bunny. This build is only meant for 400% because the reason why is you're not playing into no mods that give you MP because MP drops so much in the 400% that you have no problem. I find this to be better solo. Playing with other players, it's all good, but you know, when they gobble up kills and stuff, it could slow you down. Like you're probably going to go faster by yourself. These are the mods that I run with the electric and dense. Again, pretty much we just took off the crit mods and put on the amplifications, but don't sleep on this mod. Chat told me about this mod yesterday. I tested it out. Why this mod is so good is that when you get kills, it helps you with the cooldown of the abilities that you're using that are on cooldown. So if you activate your third ability and then you activate electric and dense, when you get kills, which you're going to be zapping stuff nonstop, you're instantly getting those abilities back. You're pretty much counter-reacting your cooldowns. I didn't even know this mob was this good because it's just like you look at it and you're like 2% chance. That's probably bad. It actually activates a lot in the 400%. Try it out. If you want to swap this out with a different cooldown, you can. The only reason I didn't put on MP conversion is because I don't want Bunny to lose 15% MP. It's just not worth it for me. I found this mod to perform a little better. Copy the mods, use it as you wish. The only change here is your reactor. You're going to want skill cost so that you can obviously sprint longer, but also you want singular. Singular would be your second mod you would go for because singular scales a little better than electric. If you want to do range, you can. Without range on the reactor, I get 20.1 meters radius instead of 21, but trust me, you take 1 meter off Bunny, you're not going to notice it at all. Not a big deal. I've been doing it since Ultimate Bunny came out. I'd rather go for a little bit more zap power. So I'm gonna, since you're gonna be farming for Anis Rhea's reactor, electric singular or electric tech, you might have one laying around. Give it a shot, dominate the dungeons, easy clap. All right, next up we have Gley. Gotta remember, Filer is a boss like Devourer and Gluttony. So kneecaps. When we see those big kneecaps, what comes to mind? Shotgun Gley. So Executor or your Smithereens, Spec'd Out. Those unlimited rounds on those kneecaps could be huge. I think I'm actually going to try the new boss on Gley first, just to have fun with it. I'm also going to be using Python. Python with weapon cores is going to be amazing to make it even stronger. So obviously, just want to go over this really quickly. This is no Enzo in your team. And then if you have an Enzo buff, you should spec into crit mods. So the only difference here is that no Enzo has electric enhancement and Enzo buff does not have that on. If you want to screenshot those, all for you. But anyways, let's get into what we're using. We have Annihilation set. Mainly you just want to go for HP here. HP recovery modifier if you care. Gley doesn't have MP, so you don't really have to worry about that. If you want to put defense and a resistance on, you can. Again, just slap a full set on just so you can get that extra firearm attack, because when your HP is lower than 50%, you get that extra juice damage. Everybody knows this. On your reactor, I actually use skill duration up over cooldown, and I'll explain why. And then obviously you want Colossus. If you want to use cooldown Colossus, go for it, but I'm going to explain why here. So the reason why, when you're activating your combo and you're in your massacre, as you see, the second icon is my massacre. It's about to come to an end in 3, 2, 1, out. And the duration gives me perfect timing of when to activate my infinite rounds so that I can get maximum damage. The reason why you're doing this is because you want your massacre to last as long as you possibly can because of sharp precision shot. If you interrupt it too early, which I'm going to demonstrate here right now, the third icon is my massacre. Right now it's up, but I have so much more to go, so I have to pay attention to that little icon and hit it last second. I really don't want to be staring at those icons. I'd rather just have it timed up perfectly, and I don't want to interrupt that at all. This is the Massive Sanguification build. I know that I'm missing 2 mods. You guys are probably like, Clyde, where's the amplification mods? I just haven't slapped those on yet. You would put non-attribute amplification over shot focus because 15% firearm attack isn't worth it. You're getting an additional 65% here. And then you're going to add dimension amplification where spear and shield is. Again, you're only getting 8% here when this gives you a lot more, but everything else will stay the same. You're going to play into cooldown duration. If you want to swap out dangerous ambush for walk the tightrope, depending on what you're doing, it's fine, but this is a pretty basic build that everybody uses. They just switched out the mods for the non-crit, so totally up to you. Now let's talk about Sharen. We all know that Sharen's absolutely busted for mobbing, for bossing, and absolutely destroying Gluttony here, as you see in the clip. Just using 2 full clips of smithereens, activating her ambush, and just unloading on those kneecaps. Huge output damage. There's so many fun builds you can use with Sharen right now, but I can only cover so much. So first off, let's talk about what you're seeing in this clip here of just end all be all, 1 shotgun clip all a day. First off, let's show you the smithereens. This is kind of like a skill check mod overwhelm. You need to make sure that you just hit every single pellet or you lose damage significantly. That's why I only recommend using this build for the smithereens for this shotgun if you plan on going for like a cool trick shot or making sure that you're always hitting your shots. If you want to play it safe, you just move shell up here and then use a enhancement mod here. So like this will be your floater, electric enhancement, toxic, whatever you want. Just keep shell up here. But like I said, all you're going to be doing is using your camouflage, unloading a whole clip, reloading, activating your camouflage, doing it again. The reason why you're doing so much damage here is because of conditional recharge. Every time you use a skill, you're going to drop your health. You're going to drop your health all the way down to like 20%. You can activate walk the tightrope, and then it will activate annihilation, and then the reactor really doesn't matter. So just wanted to show you that. It's kind of cool to use on Sharen. So let's get into the more usable builds that everybody can use in game. Pretty much if you're bossing or you're mobbing with Sharen, just have Blue Beetle in your hand, get that 100% trigger rate on its unique ability. Just make sure it's leveled up all the way. You don't have to worry about putting any mods on, all good. So if you want to use the ambush build, pretty much all you're doing is you're activating your camouflage and you're just throwing your third ability, frangible rounds, and then you're spamming your 1, get the cutoff beam. And then if you want to use your ult, it actually still does a lot of damage. But again, it's just kind of a fun build. You're always invis. The reason why I put HP collector here, you could socket dangerous ambush because you're always invis, but HP collector is just kind of like more chill for like the casual community because you're always healing and you don't really have to worry about anything. I ran some 400% without HP collector on, and you're kind of just playing really risky. Copy these mods, use them if you will. The reactor you're looking for would be skill critical hit damage, and you could do like cooldown with it. Also, the range does affect the explosion of your 3, so you could choose that. Again, like I don't really get too nitpicky on reactors because we all know that reactor farming is a little tough, but they do make it a lot easier with the optimizations. So just make sure you have that skill critical hit damage since you're always critting, and then choose your second best, either range or cooldown. Player set, typical, right? Unless they nerf player set or annihilation, there's really not many sets out there for the basic meta builds. So get yourself a good Slayer set with MP recovery and HP and call it a day. And that is the ambush build. Now going over the area suppression, pretty much what you're doing is you're spamming your 4 now while you're going active passive camouflage and spamming your cutoff beam. And then if you want, you could use shock nuts to stun enemies. It's kind of up to you. I really don't. You could use this build for mobbing. A lot of people run around and just mob with it and, you know, do the 400% or do defense missions, kind of whatever you want. But I've actually done some really cool boss kills with this. I've actually killed some bosses instantly. Some bosses are annoying. It's like Swamp Walker took me forever. My God, it took me like 2 hours just to kill him, but it does work. It worked on Pyro. It worked on a couple other ones. This is kind of just, again, something different to try out. So copy these mods, do what you got to do. Same thing, make sure you got Blue Beetle in your hand. And then the reactor we're going to use is Colossus with fusion skill power. I just figured this would be the best because of having fusion skill power and having Colossus. I did run into MP issues, so sometimes you might want cooldown on the reactor. It's kind of up to you, because maybe you want to spam a little quicker, get more shots off, get more abilities off so you can kill the boss quicker. Again, totally up to you. Don't know if people are going to try this one out. All on you. We can't forget about Lepic Mega Man OG build, simply because the new boss is going to be normal resistant against fire, and a lot of people use Enduring Legacy in boss fights now. So the unique ability is going to actually pull resistant against the boss. So it's going to make the stacks build up and the boss will be more resistant to fire. And who knows, maybe you can go in and just lay down some Mega Man shots. So automatically, you know what we're using. We're going to use that perforator. All you need on it is fire rate up and sharp precision shot for your ult. Make sure you grab a reactor with a good old skill critical hit damage and Colossus. Slayer set it up just like the other ones you've ran in the past. Again, mine are terrible. I really need to farm out a better set, but it'll do. It'll do. Going into the modules, you're going to run Firearm Master with it. All these mods. I did put on MP Accelerant because a lot of the community does seem to like this mod better. I forgot which one I had there. I'd have to go check the old video, but this gives you the extra couple shots that you need, because some people do struggle with their MP because of their components, and they're like, man, just, you know, if I want to kill Swamp Walker, I needed 1 or 2 more shots and he would have died. This mod does make up for that. So again, copy the mods, use what you please. No one really is using this as much no more. It's kind of just like a meme, like, hey, I want to go kill a boss, I'll load up Mega Man, but you never know. New bosses aren't really hard. Infernal Walker's not too bad. Only like hurts when it goes into enragement or he farts out the fire cloud, but the new boss might get destroyed by this. It's always a fan favorite, so hopefully it helps you guys out. One of the strongest characters in the game, I think, at this moment is Viessa. Like, she, with her new buff, she's insane. Like, just being able to run around, have unlimited cooldowns, melting Infernal Walker. I mean, there's some kills you see sub-minute, some super fast kills, but she's like your savior in the Void Vessels. When you get to the Void Vessel boss room, Viessa just dumps damage on the boss. His health bar just disappears, and you get your loot. And I feel like Viessa's like that carrying character that you run the Void Vessels, really speed your runs up. Now, pretty simple to run. You can just run a Clairvoyance. You could max it out, get the full benefit of it, of its intrinsic perk. Pretty much you're just tagging bosses with this while you're doing your rotations, so you pull down that chill resistance. I actually did put a few catalysts in my Clairvoyance, so I'm going to start finishing it up and have it fully maxed out, just in case. You never know, it might be good in the new dungeon. All those levels, all that ad clear, I think she could be really good in it. Going on to her reactor, what's nice is it's going to be the same reactor as your Hailey. So again, I need to get a better one, but skill critical hit damage with Colossus when you're in boss fights. And then when you're not in boss fights, you can run something like this. You're going to be running skill critical hit damage and chill skill power. You can run chill or you can run singular, whatever you want. Kind of up to you. It's just, I found this in my stash and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this on when I'm not fighting bosses. You guessed it. Same old Slayer set. Yay! Seems like we're running the Slayer set on everything nowadays. Going into the modules, we're running Absolute Zero. And I'm telling you, this is like hands down some of the best build Viessa has to offer, just because you never have to change anything. Like you're smoking bosses, you're running through the 400%, you're running through the Void Vessel, not changing anything. Now you could try different red mods out. I know there's some different builds floating around, but it's kind of just nice to where you just don't have to worry about anything. Something funny about these mods that I'm showing you right here is Lambo actually showed me this. It's the no damage Viessa build. So you know how you're doing like outposts and you're trying to reactor farm and you can't stun the boss with Sharen anymore because the boss will die, and your Valbys are going in circles and the boss goes in your water and you die. With these mods on right here, with your cold snap watch, you do no damage to the boss. So you could just keep freezing them with your abilities. And to do that, all you have to do is go to the vendor and pick up the level 1 reactor. So since you have a level 1 reactor on, you're literally doing no damage. So put that reactor on, throw these mods on. When the boss spawns, just freeze them. Obviously, you're playing into your cooldowns. You're just always freezing them. And you have to make sure that the Valbys are killing the ads around them because you're very glass cannon. But pretty funny that you can just freeze the boss in motion. Moving on to Enzo, which is pretty much the best support class in the game, in my opinion. opinion, simply because you are able to get this mod for free now. It's just sitting at the research lady. Apply firearm enhancer is amazing simply because you're giving everybody weak point damage and crit hit rate. Buffing glaze or buffing shotguns, buffing anybody's enduring legacy. It's just so good. There's a few ways you could play this. Pretty much I run this when I'm just running pubs and I'm just on boss fights or whatever. I'm running 400% or I'm running, you know, inversions, pretty much whatever. This is just for playing with random people. That way I'm always staying alive, putting stuff down, buffing people's damage, and putting apply boxes on the ground. Everyone knows the shield build that everyone used for Deathstalker. Pretty much having a shield Enzo pretty much guarantees that the Enzo's not going to die. He can tank a lot of damage. He's always activating his 3 to get the enhanced combat suit. You always have this up at all times. You're always out healing everything. The reason why I didn't put another mod here is because I don't know. I think I just left this open for a slot that you could choose. So whatever you wanted to put there, you can. I just left it open. Run these mods, run the shield mods, you're good to go. I pretty much pair this with Enduring Legacy, so I'm always spamming it, always have it buffed. You throw Gsxrclyde down for support if people need defenses shredded, and then if I wanted to shotgun some kneecaps with smithereens, I could, picking up my box, buffing my damage, so on and so forth. On the reactor, you're just going to want skill cooldown, skill duration up, so you always have your abilities and your ults last longer. I did run, oh, we're not running Slayer set for once. We're going to run 2 bravery sets for the shield and then 2 piece annihilation for duration. Again, you could switch it up from whatever you want. Mainly just wanted to go for HP there, defense, max shield, but we don't have a double gold. Again, components are a little tough. Again, run this shield Enzo. Everybody knows it. Busted. Really good. Enjoy it. Now, everybody knows how strong Freyna is at mobbing. You pretty much go into a 400%. Press one button, boom, everything's going on. Your console's about to crash. Your GPU's at 100% usage. It's all bad. But Contagion's busted and we're just standing and using Secret Garden. Most of you that have Secret Garden leveled up are definitely going to take advantage of using it on Freyna and also using it on Gsxrclyde when she drops. If you want to use this on Freyna, just because you want to always have this in your hand, here's some mods that you can use to have for her ult. This gives you about 90 plus in your ult. It's kind of just up to you. Run these mods or not, your choice. Just make sure you have rounds per magazine on this if you really want to optimize it. Again, I haven't rolled it yet, but I will. What we're running on the Contagion build is pretty simple. You guys have seen this before. Don't have to run HP collector. I just use it to play safe because sometimes I like making builds for everybody, not just the high risk, high reward players. Again, it's a good socket there. You could switch it out, put whatever you want, but this is what I run on Contagion. Spam my 3, spam my 1, and then if I need to kill a major or something, I'll use my ult. And don't forget to activate your ult and then roll so you cancel that animation. But everyone knows the Contagion build, pretty simple, right? Going over the reactor, this is disgusting, I know. I just didn't have time. Pretty much what happened with this reactor was when Ultimate Freyna came out, I wanted to get my video out quick, and I realized that Contagion was so broken that I didn't need a better reactor. But skill cooldown is really good, so you can spam your abilities, and tech does scale better than toxic. So we took the blue and we ran. Not a big deal. I run 2-piece annihilation with 2-piece venom set simply for duration and getting yourself a little bit more toxic skill power, but it's totally up to you what you could run. I just felt like with Contagion build, I didn't need Slayer. I feel like Slayer was a little bit overkill. Again, you try it out, do whatever you want. Easy mobbing build, should have no issues with killing stuff, but again, the devs did say that there might be a chance that they do tweak Freyna so she's not so overpowered. I'm telling you right now, Viessa, keep up. Just can't clear like Contagion spreads, but Viessa's pretty fast and she's nuts. But overall, everyone knows this build. Now, let's talk about this clip you're seeing. That's right, 1 ult, killing Gluttony. Man, they nerfed this guy so much. But Freyna, she's absolutely nuts at bossing now. And you have to remember that they are buffing Luna, which means 1 Luna, 3 Freynas is going to be dangerous in most fights. Melting bosses, laughing at them. So what we're going to use here is, I don't know how I got this reactor. It took me 10 minutes to get this. I know the community's chasing it, but we got really low Colossus on it, which sucks. Heck, Colossus for bossing with Freyna is amazing. Definitely should use it. Good luck trying to get it. Your second best would probably be Toxic. Again, I wish I could get those 2600 Colossus, but we're not that lucky. Again, you guessed it, Slayer set, Slayer set. Yep, run your Slayer set components to get that buff. And then we're gonna go into the modules. Again, I didn't put the mod here. This is supposed to be HP, but I guess we don't need it when the boss just falls over, but you could put an HP mod there. Using Venom Injection, pretty much just to use this for bossing. It's amazing. Rotation would be activate your Venom Injection, throw your 3, throw your 1, and then before you pop your ult, you're going to obviously hit your ult and then roll to cancel that animation. But there's also 2 ways to do this. 1, you can stick with your sharp precision shot Secret Garden, because sharp precision shot does ramp up in that ult. Everybody uses it, they know that. But there is some cool little tech going around with firing Fiesta that gives you extra shots That's what you're seeing in the Gluttony kill. It's about 115 shots to get that damage to extend to get the kill, and you're using Firing Fiesta. So your rotation is with Firing Fiesta, shoot a couple bullets, make sure you got a reload ready to go, activate your 2, activate your 3, activate your 1, get your poison on the boss, and then hit your reload button. And then when that reloads at 75%, hit your alt, then roll. Firing Fiesta and the alt is ready to go, and you just spray down, melt bosses, easy clap. You don't need to use this tech. You can simply stick with your Secret Garden in your hand, rounds per magazine, run these mods, sharp precision shots. But again, it's just something cool that's a mention for the community, and use Freyna for bossing. Also, I want to point out this bossing build, you do have your shield. So everyone knows that shield builds, you stay alive a little longer. So it does kind of play out to be really well. Try it out, see if you like it. This build needs no introduction. We got big bad Hailey here, just melting bosses. Easy, activate your alt and just bang, 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 boss dies. Now, I do want to point out that I like piercing lights. I don't use perforator. Reason why: the perforator build is simply for really fast speedrun kills or trying to make up damage that your teammates don't have, but there's not really a boss in the game that survives for alt. And also, I want to point out the weapon cores. Putting it on piercing lights is going to hit a little harder. Again, if you want to run your perforator, you can use it a payout mod you'd run. So everybody runs that payout mod on perforator. So you slap these mods on, get a couple extra shots in your alt. Totally up to you. Again, just make sure you got that rounds per magazine on here with the 12%. I actually have that over here. Anyways, moving on to piercing light, we got the crit hit damage, the firearm attack, the Colossus, the 12% rounds per magazine, and this gold mod's kind of up to you. You could do weak point expansion, you can do strengthen first shot if you wanted to reload before the alt. Special sight I like too, because it just gives you that flat 30%. Again, totally up to you. But you're running these mods because you're playing into getting that extra damage or unleashing all those shots. Everyone knows it. Pretty simple dub. On your reactor, you're going to go for that Colossus, skill critical hit damage. As you see here, I'm missing about 3% and 200 on the reactor. Got to farm a better one. But again, she's so busted that I don't need to improve her because she kills everything in the game anyway. Then run your Slayer set, call it a day. So there is a gun build floating around for Hailey. I'm sure this is way out of date. Okay, I just want to point this out. It's probably out of date, but simply you're going to use conditional recharge to use your skills to drop your health, to proc walk the tightrope, and you're pretty much just going to stand there with your 3 up at all times. You get that skill critical hit damage and firearm damage. This is like an end all be all build pretty much. You would run this with the reactor is not going to matter, but you're going to want to run annihilation set so you get that extra firearm boost. But there is some cool Hailey builds out there where it's just straight gun builds. I ran this build once for Gluttony, and then I just said, I like running the boss boom boom bang bang. But again, I did want to show you this that you could use. Check it out, try it out. There's probably an updated build out there somewhere that has better mods than I do, but yeah. Moving on to Valby. Well, guess what? She's going to be absolutely busted. They're actually buffing her on the 16th, and you're now going to recover MP while you're standing in any water. Also, when you're in her 3 and you're zooming around Valby 500, you're now going to be able to jump, which is going to be great for movement speed. Stacking that with grappling, you're going to be able to have some really cool movement tech. But again, she's absolutely nuts here. The new bubble build is so much fun. You're just stacking bubble bullet on the ground and annihilating bosses. Like, she's killing Infernal Walker in 13 seconds. You're killing Gluttony just absolutely easy like it's nothing. Valby is she's always just a fun character, and I'm glad they're buffing her. So what you're going to do with these mods is you'll run these, but you're also going to add supply moisture. Now, I might say this wrong, so don't quote me on this. Right now, supply moisture says MP recovery is not applied. So with the January 16th update, that is going to go away, because standing in your water, you're going to be able to recover MP. If you add supply moisture into this, you use your 1, you use your 3, use your tidal wave, and then your cleanup, and then you use your bubble bullets, and then you just keep spamming. And then when the boss gets stunned, all that water buildup is going to be damaging the boss with dangerous ambush. Then you can pull out a shotgun or a weapon and just crit the boss and get a faster kill. So it's kind of up to you, but as it sits right now, I do not run supply moisture. Kind of just run around and have fun with this. The key thing to this build is Peacemaker, so you definitely want to make sure you have this thing maxed out all the way, because you want that non-attribute skill power stacking boost. You just have it in your hand. That's all you need. No mods on it. Nothing matters. I don't have nothing on it. I was just messing around with mods. We got some skill cooldown and Colossus. Skill cooldown is definitely important, because if you want to kill bosses quicker, you need the cooldown. That way you can always spam your 1 at 1.9 seconds. It's kind of nice. And then Slayer set again. Overall, I think this is a really good build. We know that there's a bug going on with Tidal Wave right now, and it was doing way too much damage. Also, I want to point out that they are going to be buffing the Laundry Bomb. You literally are going to be able to spam this, make it bigger. They showed it in the preview of January 16th update. I would like to make a fun Laundry Bomb build. So again, I think it's just going to be fun to be able to slide around and throw bubbles everywhere on Valby and melt bosses. So this build kind of shocked me. Also, want to go over the Inversion Reinforcements. Obviously, I'm not done. I'm trying to max these out before the 16th, but slacking. There is some really good perks on here that you can use for your builds. Arch boost and heightened sensory skill. Arch boost to get that skill cooldown and getting the speed and range, and then you're going to use heightened sensory to get that HP and MP. Also, people like using the MP recovery up here, and then I think there's a cooldown, or this is a movement speed one. Movement speed one's really good. Then you have a grapple hook one somewhere. Yeah, grapple hook cooldown. So I really don't switch these up for builds. Like some people say, oh, you should put on grappling hook for Bunny, but it's like I kind of just mess around with these and use them as I please. You know, you got these chill rounds up here, electric rounds, try whatever you want. There's recovery mods in there. There's stuff that pretty much gives you damage modifiers. Tweak them, but I didn't want to go over every single build and be like, hey, run this with this, try them out, do what you like, until they give us super crazy hard content. There's really stuff that you don't need to pay attention to unless you're like a top 1% player and you want to go for like speed kills or leaderboards or, you know, whatever. There's definitely some stuff in here that you can get 3 points from. You know, grind out those void vessels over and over and over to get those inversion points, or you can do the world map objectives on each planet. It's just feels like a chore, but we're going to be doing a lot of void vessel to unlock in this Rhea. Definitely unlock these, test them out, see what you like, but pretty much I don't take these off. I run these 3 and just call it a day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me going over all these builds. I really enjoyed taking my time and kind of demonstrating everything, going over all the weapons in the previous video and going over all the builds here. I love build diversity. It's always fun. Also, you have to understand that pretty much we just destroy everything in the game right now as it sits. But with the new content coming, we're gonna have to shift our builds to defeat the new boss, to defeat the new dungeon, and that's about it, because everything else that sits in the game now, we just bang bang, everything dies. So we'll make some tweaks. Weapon cores, I mean, pretty much every build that you have now, adding 4 to 5 weapon cores to each ultimate weapon could be dangerous, could be fun. Can't wait. See you guys in the update. Enjoy this. I'll see you guys next time.